Hello gentlemen, it's me, Mr. Brown, and today we're going to be talking about conserving land and soil, Chapter 3, Section 1. So follow along with me, and here we go. As we learned in this section, soil is a complex system made up of living and non-living things. It contains the minerals and nutrients that plants need to grow. Without good soil, life as we know it would not be possible. We also learned that poor soil management can result in three problems: erosion, nutrient depletion, and desertification. Typically, the root systems beneath trees hold soil in place, but when soil is exposed to wind and water, erosion occurs more rapidly. Things like logging and forest fires can destroy the tree systems and thus make soil more susceptible to erosion. We can see coastal erosion occurring right here in Louisiana. If you go back 100 years ago, the state was actually growing because sediment and fresh water was being dumped into our southern wetland areas. In the 1930s, the Corps of Engineers built levees, which led to sediment from the Mississippi system not being able to fill in those areas. Oil and gas built canals, which allowed for salt water and storm surge to intrude into areas, causing further coastal erosion. The chart you see before you is the same area over a 20-year period. Another soil issue is nutrient depletion. Just like our bodies need nutrients in order to function, the soil needs nutrients in order to thrive. Sometimes a farmer plants the same crops in a field year after year, and as a result, the plants use more nutrients than the decomposers can replace. The soil becomes less fertile, a situation that is called nutrient depletion. One way to combat nutrient depletion is crop rotation. In this method of farming, the farmer plants different crops in a field each year. So, corn and cotton requires a lot of nutrients from the soil. So the next year, the farmer will plant something different, such as barley, rye, or oats, which uses fewer nutrients from the soil. The next year, the farmer will sow things such as alfalfa or beans, which restore the nutrient supply in the soil. This method allows for farmers to keep their land healthy for years to come. And the final problem is desertification, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's the encroaching of desert-like conditions into areas that were once fertile lands. In this image, we quite literally see the desert creeping into once fertile areas. While we might be tempted to think that deserts and the fertile areas are separate on a map, with excessive logging and overgrazing of grasslands by cattle, we actually have fertile areas that are threatened by desertification. So let's jump into our Section 1 review. Number 1 asks us to list 3 ways that people use land. And if we just flip back to page 115, we see those listed for us: agriculture, development, and mining. Number 2 asks us, what are 3 problems that can occur when topsoil is not properly managed? And that's really what we've been talking about in this video: erosion, nutrient depletion, and desertification. Number 3 asks us to describe the effects of strip mining on the land. And going back once again to page 115, we see that stripped mine areas may remain barren for years before the soil becomes rich enough to support the growth of plants again. Number 4 asks, why is it important to protect topsoil? And looking back on page 116, we just have to go down to that 3rd paragraph in which the first sentence states, it can take hundreds of years to form just a few centimeters of new soil. Number 5 asks us to describe 2 methods for reducing soil erosion. And if we flip back to page 117, we see that section entitled Exploring Soil Conservation, in which we see listed terracing, windbreaks, conservation plowing, and contour plowing. And thinking critically, relating cause and effect. How may human activities be related to desertification? So I'm asking you to go on Canvas chat and to post in 2 to 3 sentences, how might this be an issue?